Hello everyone, it's Junie checking back in with you, and I'm here to remind you that you are all magical, and you are especially magical to me. So we're going to go over this precious little boy with this precious little face and look at the area where he went missing. It said that he lived on Sid's Bush Road. And I wanted to kind of give you an aerial view of this area and just show you how much of a miracle it is that this little boy survived and why I went to the dark side when I was looking at the astrology and explain to you guys that the planets are never wrong. It is human error. If there's anything, it's never the planet's fault. It would be my fault, okay? Now, I was feeling hopeless when I did his chart, even though I saw Jupiter ruling his sitting in the first house of his chart and hugging that AC line. I want to always give you guys hope when Jupiter does show up for a victim, and that that they have a higher chance of survival. And it can be a double-edged sword. It can go both ways. But we'll go ahead and discuss the astrology in a little bit. I wanted to show you the clip where he does get rescued and kind of show you an eagle eye view of Sid's Bush Road. I'm not sure exactly where he lives. I really don't want to show exactly where he lives. I'm sure other YouTubers will do that. I'm not comfortable kind of doing that yet. I don't know. This is just the area. This is the road. It's not a very long road. And just show you a little bit about the area so you have an understanding of finding a needle in a haystack. And here's the clip of when they found him. Okay, so as you can see, that was a miracle, seeing him being surrounded by love and everybody hugging him. These are his grandparents, and they are just so blessed and grateful to God that he was found. I think I went to the dark side of the charts because Pluto and Scorpio was hugging that DC line. Mars rules Scorpio. These are malefic planets, guys. These are very malefic planets in crime charts. And I hope you understand that when you do true crime, we are trying to look at the darkness of what could possibly happen. But I have to keep in mind that with Jupiter there, I need to keep hope. And that he has a higher chance of survival. And that I believe that the planets were trying to tell me, with Scorpio being there, that he was near death. Because Scorpio rules death and rebirth, just like his name, Phenix Rising. I mean, the phoenix, is a bird that burns and turns into ashes and then is reborn. I mean, it's a pretty amazing name for this little boy. Anyway, I think that with Pluto on the DC line, it just automatically sent me to a bad place. And I need to keep in mind with missing children, it could just mean that they're near death. Okay, because Pluto does rule near death as well. If Pluto shows up in the first house, it can mean that our victim is suffering tremendous emotions, okay? That our victim is somewhat under some type of stress, okay? So with Scorpio on that DC line, it did push me towards thinking that there was something more malefic going on, because the planets that are showing up, ruling him, Mars and Pluto, are malefic. And they're sitting in the house of, death at one point in the chart. So, unfortunately, it pushed me to think that, something bad was going to happen. Because an hour earlier, Mars shows up in the house of death when we looked at the chart that's an hour earlier at 11 a.m., it shows death. So, but I think what they're saying, what the astrology is trying to communicate, is that he was near death. So I always need to keep that in mind when we're doing these charts, that that he was in dire straits, and I think the astrology was trying to provide that for us. Jupiter is our protector. He's also law enforcement, and he can bring great luck to our victims. With his Saturn showing up in Pisces, it did let us know that he was going to be wearing the color blue. If you look at his jacket, he is wearing the color blue. Pisces is Neptune. Neptune is the blue planet. It rules, water. So I think now that I look at it, I would say death, drugs. You could be from death, drugs, or drowning, because Neptune rules drugs, drowning, lies, delusions, and things like that. But it also can rule that you need water, okay? That his body was dehydrated and that he needed water, all right? So that's another thing that I missed. Now that I look back at the chart and look at that, with Saturn being in Pisces, he needs water. That's probably what the astrology was telling me, and I missed it. So I'm just trying to go back and correct myself. Because again, the planets are never wrong. It's human error, all right? So, and I do feel like there was maybe something up with the caregiver. I am questioning the mom, because if you have a child in need, it's not safe for you to be going to the bathroom and having to leave him that much. The chart here is letting us know that he's in the earth. All of the planets that were ruling him and ruling the AC and DC line are in the house of earth. Look how much earth is in his chart there. That means that he's in earth. And it looks like they found him laying on the ground. And I even said he would be low to the ground, okay? Low to the ground in earth. So I think they found him laying on the ground. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the astrology was matching up on that too, that he's in dirt. He's walking on the ground. He's in dirt. The Scorpio just gave me a bad vibe, but again, his open enemy is death. That's his open enemy. The 7th house is being ruled by Scorpio. The DC line is being ruled by Scorpio. So he was facing death. That's what the chart is trying to tell me. And I'm just trying to go back and kind of explain where I went wrong. And lesson learned, okay? And I will also keep into consideration when somebody is missing, if, a water sign shows up in Saturn, that they might need actual water, that they may be, dehydrated as well. But regardless, it still is upsetting to me that if you know that you have a child with special needs, and this is no shade against the mother or the other person that she trusts to watch this child with special needs. I mean, this is nothing personal against the mother, except that, the next time Phenix might not be so lucky. So now is the time that you install a toilet into that camper where you don't have to be traipsing across a yard to go to the bathroom. I mean, I have to go to the bathroom all the time. I'm an older woman. I mean, I have to get up at all hours of the night to traipse. I would, if I had a child with special needs, the door would be locked when I leave. I would always have my key with me, and I would be locking my family in when I leave, because you're in the middle of nowhere, and he's not verbal. He's nonverbal. So this is when, regardless of how horrible everybody thinks CPS is, this is when they can come out to the house and give you a list of things that you can do to improve the child's situation. Not to get the mother in trouble. That's not what I'm saying to do. Not to get the mother in trouble, just to, help better educate her so this never happens again, because he might not be so lucky next time. And I do think that there's something off with it, the story. Not that it's malice, just that he may have been looking for his mom for a reason. And I do think possibly maybe discipline was involved. That's just my own personal opinion. Not that he was being hit on or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a reason that he walked out of that trailer to go look for his mom. Okay? And I really hope that they improve the situation and install cameras everywhere. This place needs to have trail cameras. It's not like you could go see a neighbor. I mean, people don't drive around probably on that road back there much. It's hardly anyone around. So, I mean, this is when you get trail cameras. This is when you have cameras all around the camper and all around the grandparents' house too. I mean, that's just how I would handle it from here on out. And I do hope that he recovers and that, he is okay and safe. Blessings to you all. Again, I just wanted to point out why I went to the dark side with this. It was feeling hopeless to me that there could be something more involved, but I knew to have hope. And I had a lot of hope for him because of Jupiter. Jupiter was involved in this, from the moment that we started looking at the charts. Jupiter was letting us know that he had a chance of survival, because that's how Jupiter works. It can increase the chances. But with Scorpio sitting on that DC line, now that I look back, his open enemy was death. Scorpio is always associated with death and a rebirth, right? Just like his name, Phenix, okay? And that the water in the chart was letting me know that he needed water. That his physical body was in Pisces, which is the fish, letting us know that he's dehydrated. So that's where I went wrong. And I just wanted to correct it with you so you guys understand, astrology, it's what I'm asking the question when I look at the chart. Is there a kidnapper? And yes, it definitely looked dark. But when I look at it as if he's missing in the woods, now that I see it in a different light. So it depends on the question that you're asking. I went towards a possible someone doing something bad to him because it was so long. We were into the third day, into the late afternoon, and I was feeling a little hopeless. So that's why I was starting to think that something more sinister happened to him. But thankfully, it didn't. But the chart was still telling us exactly what happened and what he needed. And that death, Scorpio, is his open enemy. All right. Blessings to you all. I'm so grateful and thankful to God that this turned out well. Blessed be. Blessings to you all. Bye-bye.